Hey, hi, morning. How are you? Fine. Not really fine, actually.
Why?
Fall sick already.
Serious?
Yesterday I went for training.
Uh-huh.
I was sitting under the aircon. So I didn't put on my cardigan. Whole day, wow. Towards the end of the day, cold already. Then went on, cannot.
Me too.
Yeah, I started sore throat first. Then I think because of our immune body, you know, this is a symptom, first one. Then yesterday sitting, wow. Then went home, take medicine, and if I could take, you know, because if I don't take antibiotics, then today I cannot come in.
Me too. It was my convocation yesterday.
Oh,
So I went there and it
yesterday
was...
you didn't come, isn't it?
No, because my phone was...
Yesterday, you know, I saw that this is yesterday.
Well, you asked me, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you know, they deserve it, like, in case for the lecturer, so many of them not come. I think when they say maybe 7, 8 of them, so that that's why we told them we need to change, because this one also the first Saturday and Sunday, first week for those like school holiday, you know, the children. Then most of us are parents. Then and some more, we already told them that most of us having the something.
I didn't watch the YouTube video yet.
You have a friend? He came out as well.
No.
He's no more.
No, he is, but he's...
You're working, your boyfriend, isn't it?
No.
You're working with him together in one company.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just starting. I'm having this transition, you know, between from hospitality to something else. Hotel management to something else.
Last time you were working with who? Which company is that?
The last one was Royal Charm, the massage. There are two, right? There is Royal Bintan and there's Royal Charm.
Oh.
So I was working there for sales and marketing.
But
before that, I was at Western KL and some other places.
Okay. But
hospitality.
He's doing what business?
He's doing international trade. So he basically buy some, raw materials from Malaysia, like syringe,
Export.
shotgun, yeah, and export to.
You are from where? Really?
I'm from Kazakhstan.
Oh, Kazakhstan.
Yeah, but I'm originally Russian. It's like, Malaysia.
Border. Is it like Singapore and Malaysia, something
Yeah.
like that? Border.
It's like in Malaysia you have Malays, you have Chinese, you have Indians, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Malaysia. So there is same back home. There are Kazakhs, there are Russians, there are Ukrainians.
Oh, you mean all of them saying Kazakhstan? The country is Kazakhstan. But they have different races, just like us. Okay, okay. Now I understand. Or else I was they're from Kazakhstan, they're Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they don't speak Korean anymore. They've been, moved from Korea to Kazakhstan very long time ago.
So they can speak their language.
Only Russian language, they don't speak Korean.
Oh, Russian language. You know Kazakhstan, they speak
Russian.
Kazakhstan, their religion, most of them, they have.
Officially, they say that the original
Mm.
Kazakh people, they are Muslims. But for me, I'm Orthodox Christian.
Oh, okay.
So,
But I
similar as Malaysian.
But I thought Kazakhstan. The other one is what similar like Chinese one is it start with K? Is it Kazakhstan?
Kyrgyzstan.
Oh.
There are few countries around.
Yeah.
Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan.
Some of them are looks like Chinese one, right?
Yeah. Mongolia.
Yeah. Because I have a friend sister-in-law was from there also.
Yeah.
Ah.
From Kazakhstan.
That she can speak Mandarin.
So nice.
She can speak Mandarin. That's why earlier I was asking how you communicate. She can speak Mandarin. Mandarin and English because she works in Dubai. Those people are from there. Normally, the exposure like you can speak English. But normally in the school, you learn.
Well, we do learn English, but it's so basic and it's not enough. If you want to learn how to speak English, then you definitely have to go for extra classes. In schools, it's just basic.
Because it's not compulsory.
Like here in Malaysia, right.
That's why a lot of countries, I meet a lot of friends that say, oh, you're very lucky because in Malaysia, even though it's Muslim country, you learn faster, but the country emphasizes a lot on English. Then also Chinese, so it's three languages we can speak. That's why even though we go Muslim country, we go Chinese country, we go to the foreign country like those speak English, we still can survive. That's why it's good also that we have three languages.
Yeah,
but
it's really good.
But like me, I didn't know Chinese. I go for because in Malaysia we have two types of school, government school. Actually, many types are three types: Indian, pure Indian in the primary school. They call it Kebangsaan school. No Chinese. Even though they have Chinese, maybe they have like extra. Like 1 week they will call external teachers to come in for 1 week 2 lessons. There's like 2 or 3 lessons. But in the Chinese school, they learn a lot of Chinese, science in Chinese, maths in Chinese, everything Chinese except the Bahasa one book, English one book, that's all. But Kebangsaan school is, they have the English one book, the rest are in Bahasa. But because of the school Kebangsaan, so we have multi-racial teachers, so they speak English most of them. So the students also follow speaking in English. So that's why we pick up English from there. Because that's why when you learn, you speak. Yes. But Chinese I can speak, can understand, cannot read.
Yeah, it's difficult. My friend, she's also from Kazakhstan. She spent 2 years in China.
Oh.
Yeah, she was learning Chinese. But then she didn't manage to go to the school that she wanted to go there. So she moved to Malaysia. It's been like 3 years that she's every day saying that China is bad.
Oh, she likes
She likes China. She's like obsessed.
because she wants to learn Chinese. Why don't you go to Singapore?
I don't know. Expensive.
Expensive food.
I also wanted to look for like Mandarin courses, but Then I realized that, Mandarin here and in China is different.
Different. But over here you learn easier. China not easy. Because I have my daughter in Hindi last time, she has one Chinese teacher. She told me Chinese character she got 5,000. 4,000. Malaysia, most of the schools they teach Chinese, they teach 2,000 characters. So you see the difference. Yeah, if the 2,000 you don't learn are not easy as well.
That's why previously when I worked in hotel, I could see, that Chinese people from China coming to Malaysia, the difficulties they communicate. I mean, they're given
I'm good. How are you?
they don't understand due to pronunciation.
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Morning. New faces.
Yes. So yeah, it was very difficult for everyone, for Chinese people and for but there are more here, as a tourist.
Tourists, but in Singapore, they have here. That's why Singapore is different. So in Singapore,
Stable and stable.
Yeah, they're very distinct. Which city?
Morning. So we have two newcomers, Brenda
Yes.
and Madhu Rosemary. You didn't sign? Which one? Oh, you add at the end. Is it the one? Okay. You should be from Soviet Union
Yeah.
or Kazakh.
Yeah.
Great. So Russian rooted Kazakh.
Yeah.
State.
That's right.
Okay. Perfect. So how we pronounce X?
Actually, Xenia.
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 My daughter name is Roxana, but I don't know whether we use X as well. But Xenia. So Xenia, you have to have the word X pronounced, huh? Xenia. Nice. Morning. Nice. Okay, good. One question, is it like common, the student coming for classes selectively, or like how is it?
No, actually these classes, we requested Dr. Chua to postpone because we told them many of us couldn't attend the classes.
So you had clashes.
Yes.
Or what was the yesterday class that you couldn't attend this? Or you had work clashes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No
That's
wonder. The names are a lot, but yesterday we had like.
Yeah, we told him already, even we written down the letter, most of us cannot attend. Even some of them cannot attend both days also. That's why we told him.
Well, I
Because
think
actually
they have their own very, very tight schedule, because I know when they wanted to arrange it with me, they had difficulty. It's not like they don't want to do it. I believe they tried their best, and this is what they could come up with.
Because in 1 month, normally it's one module, but this month we have 2 modules.
Yeah, apparently there was a batch who was supposed to be graduated, and this class was initially supposed to be sooner. This is what I remember.
Okay.
Then they did some shifts to be able to accommodate that batch. They had the one subject to graduate. So.
That's why for us, we are the new batch. So it's like we told them that we can't make it, Either one day we cannot make it, or some of them 2 days also they can't make it.
No, but yesterday actually some they didn't sign. There were like 3-4 of them came, and then they forgot to sign.
No, they were just trial.
Oh, they were trial students,
because,
three?
they let them attend the class and see whether you want to enroll or
Ah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they are not
Yeah, now they have trial class.
I didn't know that. These 3 that they were sitting here.
Yeah, and there was one here.
Who was the one, the Malay
The
lady?
Malay girl and Chinese guy.
Oh.
Girl.
That's interesting. I think that's why they didn't show up for the second class.
Right.
Okay.
They just
that's
observe. Observe how to.
So we have the marketing samples.
Actually, but not really. The thing is, corporate finance, which is held earlier than compared to this, right? The deadline for submission is actually 30th of June. I thought 30th of July, but she was handwritten, right? It's 30th of June, double confirm. And this one, the deadline, the exam
Is 27.
It's very odd,
Yeah, it's exactly on the same time. So maybe you can double check about the deadline, because
but the lady said, we are so sticky on the deadline, we've been given days later. So if we could see whether this 27th of June could be, what do you think, Brenda? Oh, anybody? 27th of June could be postponed to somewhere in July, because July there's no class, right?
maybe you can do it 1 week. 1 week later is going to help you.
Yeah.
Like give them a solution.
It's more
Don't.
appropriate.
Yeah.
There's more logical.
Give them a solution rather than saying, oh, that we cannot. Say that, can we have it, for example, on, give a date, for example, 1 week from 27th Jan, then you're at least, but then you see, the other one is 30th.
30th of June.
One is 30th of June, one is 6th of July.
Oh, you have also 6th of July.
No, what?
6th of July is the final. 30th is final.
Yes.
And this one is 27 and 4th.
You see, it's like 4th
of July.
So you have to shift one of these two, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It will be a lot to have 2 weeks, you have to do 4,
Yes.
2 exam. So you just ask, I think for that, there should be no problem. They usually have leniency on that. So.
Yeah, I think basically, she was trying to work through informal channels rather than making it formal. But informal channels, can backfire, Like, who said this? No, we don't have such a policy.
No, you said that, can we like officially ask for this to be because of this incident? You specifically mentioned what subject and when you have these submissions specifically, then there should be no problem.
Because I'm not looking at this corporate finance until after 12th of July, June. Then there will be a lot of rush. Too many things at one time.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
What students?
What time you go? I can arrange it. You go like 1.
Maybe this need raise one. You raise them and you know, you can get the unless you can ice it in the cake. You got a data addition. But I asked for that earlier. Data addition is subject to unacceptable.
Hello.
So we are trying to see the postponement control of the submission for this deadline is 7th because on the July 30th June is now there. 27th of June, so it's 2 months. The first one, yeah.
But I thought the one was open to July.
Probably not.
Then why the lecturer don't using? Because it's already posted in July.
No. That one is finance assignment is no
Final exam is 30th June, July.
27th of June. Oh no, that's an exam. Okay, sorry, that's exam.
No, July 6th was the assignment.
For the assignment for corporate finance.
Yes. You forgot already, isn't it?
I must have.
Then why the lecturer should do it? It's 1 month what?
To be
It's calling for it.
Huh?
It's calling for it.
to be before you.
The lecturer is calling for it.
Yeah. Hey, you know, he doesn't know one. Why here, never update one.
It's not going on.
You just need to know that the board oversees the management, the board doesn't manage the company, it
Exactly.
oversees the management.
His lecturer was super excellent and yeah, I haven't started yet. Because it's 7th of June, 6th of June, 6th of July. 6th of July. 6th of July.
Now he's asking. Now.
What's one? The deadline is for the actual one. It's not 6th of June. It's 20 something of May. He knows it actually. Then after that, you go and cut our mark.
Yeah, but he was the one who was updating the thing on the portal
You
itself.
just got this,
Remember, you can post the solution,
find a search Google.
but then somebody corrected.
No, wait, this
It's on the portal. I thought
wait,
it was
which is the question here? No, this is just the guideline.
That means then later when we submit, sure, our mark
Oh, what is better? Because then you get, if we can do whatever, but you can't be the latest. Why
But
not
we
say
have
the latest?
evidence on the
but if the
portal.
mark is already,
Because you know why? If later then all of us will be
you don't
writing
know
the
what.
same code.
Because you don't know the mark one, you just know the date.
Like inventory writing.
Maybe you can get this date.
For the
Maybe
previous
that's
orders
it.
I do for 2005 weeks.
Because it's 1 month later, you will
4,000 words.
And 29 articles.
In the typical, I think,
That's why I have to
you
send
need
you
more work.
Yeah, right.
all orders, you just send email to her.
Yeah.
To tell you. Ask her what
I'm
happened.
gonna ask.
Why did I do
Actually, 5 articles.
I thought we are.
Where? Oh, 525 book articles related to topic.
Is it something serious to write?
This is article showing the relationship. This is the one.
Harmonics in 3 hours and lucky at home.
Then if you're going to go through it, Dr. Rashid, we got a whole bunch of complaints about your assignment. It's too difficult.
I will teach you how to do it. This is a classic assignment. If you learn this, you're going to be prosperous in life. Believe me, whatever else you're doing is just a matter of doing it. This is you actually learn a skill. literature review skill. If you want to, it is something that you never teach you anymore.
Oh.
You have to attend at least 5,000 ringgit classes for 1 day or half day to get this. I'm giving you You see, and then I'm not going to be really tough on how, because of course at the end, the work has, so you have one shot to come. So I would like you to do your best, okay? And I have done this in undergraduate level, we end up publishing things. Yeah, so things is like not a basic thing, it's something that you're going to really use in your life, which if you're interested, if not, then still you can do it, learn it, and then just keep it to your heart or pass it to somebody else. So I believe the tax of the knowledge is sharing it. I learned this through tacit knowledge. You know, knowledge has two sides, explicit and tacit. Explicit is the one that you can easily pass it to everybody. Like what's going on, for example, in that country, and this is my knowledge. But something is tacit, means it is you, environment, and the situation, and the subject matter. And that is not easy to be. But I try to do that because when I learned this, I learned it from a very difficult way. It wasn't an easy way to learn it. For me to do my first paper, it took like 3 months.
So you told us read the latest and 21 cases.
Well, that's why. That is the one that I compromises that I'm going to do. I put like what I expect. Then upon different category, I want to say like how much I will basically accept. So I was exactly what when I was driving here, I was thinking I'm going to tell them about it. So don't worry about it. I was exactly thinking that 25 article is going to be shocking.
And if you say latest, all of us will be writing the same story.
Sorry?
The latest, you said the latest.
Latest, you see why? Because we don't want you to go and talk about 1935 Einstein stories of quantum physics, which has been 5 million times referred to, and it's not really an interesting topic now. Because if you don't put limitation, there's a day, so you just put, hello Dr. Google, let me know what's going on. The first free article comes up, this is how it works. So we would like to give you, this is not really going to work. Why? Because if you go to latest, you already have basically read the LS one, right? So it's like basically how to navigate you to be able to write it. That's the whole idea behind it. It's not for pushing you to the things. Because you see, just imagine, do you have TCs or not?
No. Oh yes, we do. Ultimately.
This is going to help you on that. Nobody teach you this. And believe me, when it comes to thesis, then the crying moments start. If you have no idea what the literature review is. This is actually chapter 2 of your work. You learn it here. I'll teach you some shortcuts, some hints, because you see, you want to do it one by one. The chapter 2 usually typically is written around 6 months to 2 years. Typical chapter 2, it depends on your category. I'm talking about master and PhD. Yeah? From PhD, of course, it's longer, 2 years, because you have to keep reading articles and apply it to your work. And up to the day of the basically your defense, if there is anything you have to check first, then come to the unit, because one of your examiners may bring the latest article and tell you, did you read this article and come up with this thesis or not? And you say no, you can simply be rejected. And we're talking about 3, 4, 5 years of work. Of course, for you, it's as you see, your exams are not really tough. I think they had a mellower approach in total. The package is a friendlier package. So I think theses are not going to be, for you, the theses are it's not going to be that complicated. But it's better to know, because you see, for you, going out, somebody coming to you, okay, teach me this, you're a master folder. You look at him, look at yourself, and is there something that, that's bad. That's bad. I have seen some graduates in MBA, not necessarily from here, from other institutions, that you talk to them about basic things.
They don't live up to the expectation.
Yeah, because nobody check your certificate. Actually, you cannot put Montessor or the School of Paris School of Management here attached to your tattoo in your body. So what they do, they talk to you. In 5 seconds, they can understand what's going on there. And that's the reason you get hired, you get chances, you get business. You see, so it's all about how you impress me. That's how what you show me. Everybody nowadays, there are perfect softwares. You can get an Oxford certificate, manipulate it, go and all there are cases that they are doing so many. People are very creative when it comes to cheating. Believe me, they do things. God knows what's going on. There was a minister in one of the Middle Eastern countries who was claiming that he is a PhD holder. He was actually literally teaching PhD students in one of the toughest universities, and he was always talking about imaginary memories he had in Oxford. I was in Oxford, we were doing this, we were having an easy life in Oxford. They found out the guy doesn't even have diploma. Wow. So he balled all the way, and you know that he found the way. For example, he found one like a corrupted person in Oxford. He was another faculty, but he signed for him for another faculty. This is how he was caught. For example, the head of department for faculty of something signed for faculty of business, and they said this signature doesn't. Everything else was genuine. You know, the only way they could find it is even the material, everything. Even in Oxford, you can go and find a way to cheat. Of course,
in the meantime, he must have made a lot of money.
Yes, he became a minister of not higher education. School, normal, the one that Tyson Muhyiddin is in Malaysia.
Which country is it?
Education.
Which country?
Let's not really reveal. I'm gonna be somewhere in the Middle East.
Not Malaysia. Not Malaysia.
Here I know things going on as well.
Yeah. There was a very senior guy. He was even once the mayor.
Mayor of the KL.
You know that doctor, then suddenly the doctor dropped.
Oh, became just doctor or something.
Maybe because somebody called him doctor and he never said no. Then later on when they tried to do a search,
they said, okay, then where did you get it? You want to use it for our like qualification assessment?
Maybe if somebody addresses me as doctor, I keep quiet. I didn't say I'm not a doctor.
That's like the problem. So that's what I'm saying. And one of the issues was always people were arguing with this guy, but he was a very good actor, this guy, I'm telling you. This minister was the best actor I've ever seen in my life. He said he was practicing this life so hard that he became it.
And how was it teaching? Because this has not passed through the
You just read something.
You see, he created documents, but documents were like unbelievably copied. You see, like CIA level. That kind of thing. So of course, in that level, he's paying not like $5,000 or something. He's paying like definitely bought the whole department to be able to get this. But the thing is, he was going to those poor students in the school, telling them, "Oh, your life is not this," and the students were thinking like, "He's my supervisor. Oh my God, what I was getting from him, yeah, or what he was teaching me, or how he navigated me all day." You see, the people when. Yesterday you were talking about Tiger Woods, right? Tiger Woods embarrassment caused who? Problem. It wasn't like, oh, okay, it's your problem, go do whatever you want to do, you ruin your own life. But it's all about being a role model. I'm a supervisor somewhere, if I'm not doing my job properly, those that they were under my supervision, they're gonna go crazy. Wow, I got my degree under that guy. So he's gonna forever think like, so how dumb I was, I didn't understand how, like, what, like things like that. See? Long term. Anyway, come back to the normal. It's all about, so I'm justifying why you're going through this, but I create the room for flexibility. Means I give you this. If I'm your caliber and capacity, you do whatever you can do. And what I do is, I don't compare you with the top student in Harvard. What I do is, I do a relative assessment. Who's the top one? Okay, if the top one is here, so then everybody see it. But if top one is good, he has done a good job, then accordingly I assess the rest. That's how I go with it. And I try to pay attention to all limitations you have, because it's just one session and so on. Don't worry, I have done this a million times. I can tell you without looking at it what's going on. So don't worry about it. So what I'm going to do is today is start another chapter. Previous chapter, which was acquisition and so on, we have like another, some 3-4 other concepts. It's very basic and you can go through it by yourself. Simple reason why we're going through this is the classes are so compact. Actually, you won't be able to do a strategy management in one semester. Semester is 14 sessions. We're going to do it in 2 days. So that's a little bit Not a little bit, so much different. So what we do is I try to be a little bit selective. Please go through the rest, not complicated at all. We're talking about horizontal integration and vertical integration. These two are a little bit maybe more important than the rest in the second chapter that you can go through. And it's about, you see, when you do vertical basically integration, you know, supply chain from the raw material that comes from China all the way to the manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, and customer. Sometimes you can take over of your what top means supplier or maybe even raw material provider. You take over, they call it backward vertical integration, or upward they call it as well. Or you can take over of wholesalers and retailers also by yourself. That will be a vertical integration, and we call that vertical integration downward vertical integration. Because if you look at it, it's like this. See, raw material, supplier, they take the raw material, supplier, you can put just supplier instead of raw material. So supplier, manufacturer, who's you, then what? Then wholesaler, then retailer, then customer, all right? That's how the whole supply chain works. So you may have additional people in between, like for example, between manufacturer and wholesale, you may have agents, main agent in town. For example, in Malaysia, their say this is like that. You have like 3-4 main agents, and there are lots of the small dealers. Then they work with that agent. The same thing goes to Honda. Honda has like more smaller franchisee, right, and master franchise. Master franchisee means like Vincent Ton, getting McDonald's and Starbucks and so on, and then he by himself basically franchise them. So Starbucks doesn't deal with all these small Starbucks or McDonald's. No, Vincent Ton will take care of it. So Berger is in charge. Okay, we can do any of these. We have so many different techniques. It depends on our product and services we provide. Sometimes we are in the service industry, so our deal is different. So this is just a little bit explanation about the last session. Horizontal also is when you take over of your competitor. It's clear. You see, when you look at it like from top to bottom, and you're here, competitor will stand there, right beside you, all right? So when you go horizontal integration, you take over of your competitors, you become stronger. So like joint venture, acquisition, merger, franchise, and all those strategic alliances that you may have. Understandable? These two are two most important things that you would have. Yesterday we couldn't reach there, so I wanted to go through it. Now I'm going to start with.
Maybe disallowed by law.
Sorry?
Maybe disallowed by law.
Loud by law.
Disallowed.
Disallowed by law.
The horizontal, the law can prevent you from merging.
Okay, yes, that's there are possible. There are so many different things.
The possibility of monopoly.
Yes, it depends on where you are, how you are. Basically, you see, if you are in a society in which they have like particular high regulation about joint venture, strategic alliance, and so on, you might be prevented by that. But not necessarily always. And so it's just yes, a possibility. Yes, there is a possibility for anything. So that is one of the possibilities. Like for example, South Korea for the first time yesterday announced that it's the first country in the world that officially basically made Uber illegal. So you cannot allow, right? You cannot use Uber in South Korea. Uber is this online taxi service provider which makes everybody a taxi driver as far as you have a good ride. And there are some people who like to take your service. That's it, as simple as it. So what they do is just they get 10% of any of these transactions. How smart it is. The guy was in France looking for taxi, couldn't find the founder. You see, this is how his idea came to the future. This is a very basic application, and he's already a millionaire. See how basically he has done it. He was in Paris, he couldn't find taxi. He was thinking, marvelous if I could do something on my smartphone. Now everybody's in a smartphone. And get a taxi without being there and jump in the air and get somebody, please take me, I'm like a foreigner here, I'm nothing. So he came with this idea, he went back to US, he's an American, he started writing it with his friend. He came up with this beautiful idea of how to write an application about, okay, Because now the issue is 90% of they found out 80%, not 90, 80% of the cars in the morning they go to office, they're usually having there's 1% in it. It's like one driver and all of the seats are, why not try to fill those three and then make everybody happy? So just imagine you are in this area and you are going to go to KL Center. And there are so many other people doing the same. Why not we announce who is going from here to KL and give carpooling to the rest? So when you carpool the rest, they can pay for your for example, petrol, and they're gonna save time. You're gonna save time. You're not gonna pay for parking, and so how wonderful it is. All right. So it's a win-win situation for everybody, and they make it very cheap. And the cars have to be less than 5 years old, and they're having so many different techniques. In Malaysia, they have this black Uber, if I don't make a mistake. You can get literally beautiful Audi to come and pick you up, and it's not that expensive. You feel like a king. A limousine come after you, pick you up, and then send you to. So you can choose what you want. They have like so many different types. And solve it. But South Korea yesterday said, no. Our taxi drivers are going crazy. Everybody is using it. South Korea, one of the highest usage of internet in the world. They have even epidemic disease out of it. In a point that like people are 24/7 online, playing games. That is a very, very bad thing. To the point, it's a very bad, sad story. The young couple having a kid, were playing 2 days non-stop. The kids died in the next room. They didn't even bother. You see, that's addiction. Addiction is not just about drug usage. So that is what South Korea is growing. It's like one of the highest. It's 30 times faster than Malaysia, the internet connection. 30 times. You see, here you feel like, wow, sometimes good, bad, 30 times. That's the highest in the world, one of the highest in the world, average. So that is going to be a threat for taxi drivers over there. In Malaysia, what they've done is government said, okay, you want to do Uber thingy, because they cannot control. You see, you have to be very strong to be able to do it. Then what they said, okay, you want to use Uber, you better go and get a license, taxi driver license, to make it difficult. But still, just imagine, I'm doing it. How do you want to catch me? Right? You don't have any access to platform, you don't have any access to information. How do you want to find who's Ubering who? All right? You think that a bunch of friends are going out there also turning around. Oh, let me show you. You show me a certificate that you're not connected or you're connected. That's why you're sitting in the same car. You cannot do that.
Okay.
There is no way. How they're going to do it? See, that's what I'm saying. I think the same story as beautiful recent incidents that happened. We came up with something that we cannot apply. There are so many people abusing it. And I'm not talking about GST. I'm talking about GST. Yes. When you create, yes, that's the most one. When you create something, you should have the power of implementation. Otherwise, you just de-create yourself, right? So just imagine how many retailers or suppliers or people actually abuse this. They hike the price using the argue of GST, but then again, the restaurant industry, hotel industry has been trying so hard to solve the problem. They couldn't. So this service charge is still there. Tax up, because initially it was like that. Service charge was supposed to be removed. That was a promise initially. So everybody was happy. Then I go to Chile, it's cheaper. I'm paying more in Mama, it doesn't matter. My chili is going to be cheaper. But now your chili is more or less the same. Your Mama is more expensive. That's like double more. And they don't like it. So that's basically what happened. So that is about the yesterday class. Now I'm going to start with value chain and the concept of value chain. It's a very long, powerful slide. We try to tackle as much as we can in the morning session, because in the afternoon we'll talk about the assignment. And it's good that most of you went online to see it, because if you don't see it, you never know what's waiting for you. At least now you know what's going on. See that they said that sometimes for human it's better to just not know anything, and it's happier, because the more you know, the more stressed you are. Okay. A company's business consists of all activities undertaken in designing, producing, marketing, delivering, and supporting its product or services. Anything to do from A to Z that add value to our product. Just imagine anything that adds value, the package, anything, is going to be part of value chain. This is very basic concept. So you can see supply chain is part of value chain. They're actually related, 100%. But there might be something in value chain that is not necessarily supply chain, and you will see it later. How? All these activities a company performs internally combine to form a value chain, so-called, because the underlying intent of a company's activity is to do things that ultimately create value for buyers. You see, you buy things because you believe there's a value in it. Understandable? You won't buy things that you believe. You see, you pay 1 ringgit for a mineral water, you feel like it's fine. 250 cc. It's worth it. If this you're thirsty, you go for it. It's perfectly fine. All right, you get the value of 1 ringgit, and your thirst is gone. But if the same mineral water is 10 ringgit, would you pay for it? 10 ringgit for 1 mineral, you go and find that you 1 ringgit. But if you're in Sahara Desert, the nearest place to you is like maybe 500 kilometers, and you have to walk. What do you buy? You pay 10 ringgit? You pay your all of the money you have, because that's about being or not to be. You know, like, just imagine Rockefeller, a billionaire, but you cannot reach to the next town. What's the point? If you don't mind gambling the whole of your wealth, you just be alive. Because if you could get it once, you can get it back. But if you never reach there, it's all gone. All right. So the value comes upon different position and circumstances you are in. Okay. So that value chain contains 2 types of activities: primary activities as well as support activities. So we're going to go in detail and say what are the primary ones. But primary activities are where most of the value for customer is created. It is the main operation, from the transporting the raw material to manufacturing the material to dispersing material through distribution channel and pass it to the final customer. These are the main activities. But there are some activities that help these activities facilitate performance of primary activities. So, like for example, HR department of an organization, it never is a primary activity. HR is supposed to be there to help us to do our own. Finance department is not a primary activity. Finance is helping us to calculate what we're doing. But manufacturing, is it primary or basically support? Primary. Of course, primary, because you are actually dealing with the product by itself. So that's the whole idea. And let's go further and go more into detail. Look at here, a representative of a company value chain. It's as simple as this. You usually see the value chain like this. And I think now it's better, right? At least less ambiguous. So at the top, you're having primary activities and costs. So supply chain management at the top of the building first, and then goes right to operation, distribution, sales and marketing services. And the last but not least is profit margin, which is the money you make, right? What are the support activities? These are the things that they're helping you to do run the business. Okay, first you can see product R&D. R&D doesn't necessarily go immediately to the product profit, all right? But helps you to develop better products. So that's a support. Technology you use, system development, human resource management, general administration, including finance, accounting, and so on. Anything like that is actually helping. It is not adding direct value to product, but of course indirect value to product. Okay? So yes.
So if I understand it correctly, with the primary activities, it's something that have direct impact on the product.
The support, no direct. The other one, yes, direct. Direct. Anything to do with directly with the product. So you see, when you're in distribution, you're actually distributing the product, right? When you're manufacturing, you're actually manufacturing the product. When you're in finance department, you're helping to know how much of that product has been sold, how much you have in inventory, how much you have in like a semi-finished product, full finished product, the cost, you know, the profit margin that you might expect. So basically, as you can see, supply chain management, operation activities, distribution activities, sales and management is all here. What are service? When we say service, is after sales services, right? You sell the product to the customer. You cannot just leave it as it is all go. You're all on your own. You cannot, like, that's it. That's our job. Now this customer comes and look at exactly which product gives me the higher warranty and guarantee. Then I go for it, rather than just randomly pick something. why you're a little bit hesitant to buy online. By the way, that the warranty and guarantee comes with the package of the product. But you feel if you buy it from a solid place, for example, oh my English, chop it or stamp it, right? In Malaysia, stamp is used by chop. The word chop is very different. They have a program called Oh My English. Oh My English, not chop. So it is for Malaysian. More joke was about Malaysian and customized. Foreigners, that's what I'm explaining for. Anyway, so you go to the physical place to be able to get that feeling. By the way, warranty card is there, right? So you feel that services are the one, after services that provide such a thing. So the rest are quite clear. R&D, human resource, and general administration, as I explained for you, they're all going to be in a supporting form. Look at here. Example of value chain activities for a bakery goods maker. It's very interesting. We make basically breads and stuff similar to it. In Malaysia, you can see a lot as well. Primary activities, supply chain management, of course, from the wheat flour coming in or any other type of flour you use to material that comes, you have baking powder, you can all this salt, sugar, whatever comes in, right? These are all going to be from the supplier side. Comes in, and then you have, of course, recipe development and testing. This is all usually happening in the bakery by itself through the main baker or like the people, the order, the workers. Mixing and baking, this is part of the process. So it's in manufacturing. See, so first you're over recipe, then you're talking about the mixing and baking, the operation, packaging, coming out with the packages, and then put the label, and sales and marketing, find a way to sell it. So through, of course, putting it in your display. Of course, one of the ways you can sell things in bakery is making them look delicious when they are in this. And when you go in, you go like crazy, you want to take everything, right? That's the technique. And why they create such a big layout for you to walk around? Because they want to give you the room. Do you think if they didn't need that, they would create such a thing? No. They want you to go through this beautiful journey, look at all these different delights, and believe me, the way they put them is also very, very smart. They don't put very heavy one at the beginning. They put you through you go for a light one, heavy one at the end, because they know if you pick a heavy one, the chance of you taking a small one is almost zero. But they are very smart. They show you the small thing. You come to the final one, they give you the heavy stuff. So and you see, that was what I actually came for. So you collect that as well. So all these are all part of the procedure, part of the marketing and selling and distribution. So if you are a wholesaler, you make it, you sell it to the rest, like it can be Gardenia bread, right? Hi-Fi, right? Massimo, and so on. There are different brands in Malaysia. These are all more very, very commercialized ones. They have like the Mama restaurant, you go Roti Bakar, they have their own suppliers. But of course, it doesn't come from Gardenia. Because Gardenia for them is going to be too expensive. If they want it every day for any Roti Bakar, making it from Gardenia, is profit margin goes like. So they have to come up with the cheaper version, but the cheaper version is a little bit, you have to know. Okay, that is just an additional thing I'm adding to it. Wheat flour, if it's white, the way that you see it is the worst type of thing you can consume as human being. It's the worst thing you can use because the things that the way that they make it and so on, that's not really good. So whenever you say white toast and so on, that's the worst thing to have. Just additional information. For more information, you can log on to www.biology.com. Support activities, quality control, human resource management, and administration. So of course, somebody has to come and like maybe the boss or somebody from outside to help you to check the quality, check whether the dough is ready or not, whether the material or well used or not, whether in terms of hygienic issues everything is well done, things like that. So this one actually doesn't really show itself directly in the product, but indirectly yes, right? If I take care of hygienic product, I never have the chance of one of my bones end up having a cockroach in it. Why? Because I always clean the place, I always take care of the things. But I don't do that, I might not have cockroach for a long time, but one time go, one cockroach, one customer, you're done, dead. Just imagine nowadays, you're dead now, why? Because of the internet. Just imagine. This is the bakery in, like, for example, TTDI, and this is what they had, and this is the thing, they put the label, everything, the shop is done. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's what they do. It's not like I show to my friend, I show how many people you want to show. Previously, it was word of mouth. And they say negative word of mouth 10 times faster than positive one. Because when you're happy, you don't really talk about that. Then you talk about it everywhere. That's human being. Okay? So you have been like having this milk in Tatar or in this mama restaurant for like 10 years, you're fine. One time you will have food poisoning, you're fine. That shop, the worst place I've ever been in my life. 10 years you've been there, nothing happened. One time you're killing the shop, that's human being. It's not like you're evil or something, that's human being. So that's why they say negative word of mouth is very, very dangerous. Actually, it became a business for some people that they like that. They want to con, the people and so on. What they do, they go to this luxurious restaurant, find a way to argue with it. They come out, immediately find the website of the or the online page or Facebook page. They go and complain to the people. Immediately, the shop come after them. Please, a treatment free of charge. Come with the family and all. I have seen this as well. So it's always there is a chance of somebody abusing something, and somebody makes somebody else to be a good rider for him. So that's human being. So that's about the examples and activities of value chain. Let's go further. Here, more or less, we are talking about other primary activities. This is about department store retailer. It's another complete example, different example. You see, primary activity for a department store is merchandise selection and purchasing. So what material to bring? You don't want to bring things inside that they're not going to sell. So that by itself is a very important activity. Because department stores, how they make money, they never buy stuff from you. You put it there on consignment. Consignment means what? If it sells, I get my portion again. If not, then you pay for my rental. You place that you occupy them, right? Who's paying for this place? But it depends. If you are like shopping mall, of course, in places like that, you have to pay higher. But sometimes, some shops, they don't mind. You just say, put your product there. As far as it's not expirable. If it sells, I get my portion, you get your portion. If not, they get like some percentage of the sale. If not, then you don't need to pay anything. It's all like your own loss. Your capital has been there forever. So store layout and product display, that's another important thing. Always work on it. Always make sure everything is on there. For example, in Tesco UK, what they've done is they make all of this pricing and computerized. So they don't need one by one to go take the thing, a sticker, change it, and put over the new promotion. So the night before the changes, everybody's going to go crazy. So in the UK, you can simply, in one day, run 3 different promotions just by pushing a button. See, the whole system will change. Like 10% of everything, buy the variety of different products, or all, for example, cosmetic products, or 10%, 20% on groceries, things like that. Okay? Advertising and customer service. Of course, advertising is very, very important for them. That's a primary activity because it's obviously shows itself directly on the sales of the product, and customer services. That's another important thing. Why they keep giving you member card? Because through member card, they can basically have a good track of what you're doing, what you're buying, what's your demographics, and upon the demographics, they can more or less find out, okay, you're a 26-year-old foreigner in Malaysia from Ghana buying most of these items. So that means, yes. So you're a representative of Africa, so I can plan. So if I'm located in an area that have lots of African students or African residents, then I can like bring certain type of. For example, just imagine in Ghana you like yogurt, and you have lots of yogurt. So you bring lots of yogurt over there to make you happy. As simple as that, all right? And then supporting activities, site selection, hiring, where to go, because as I told you, this is really, really important. When we are talking about supermarket or hypermarket and super centers, you need a bigger space. You cannot go simply by one of these small shops. That means site selection is going to be a significant job. But again, not directly, indirectly helping. Hiring and training like human resource, store maintenance, and administrative activity. Anything to do with it.
Sorry. I say that you can actually get primary activity and secondary activity depending on the
nature of the business. Yeah. Sometimes the primary activity in somewhere is going to be a supporting activity in somewhere. Sometimes. But usually the main one are more or less the same. Anything to do with manufacturing the product, passing the product through the channel of distribution, wholesalers and retailers, making it sold to the customer and provide services upon that. These are all primary.
Because in the working industry, like finance will be.
That's services. You see, because when you talk about product, it's a very good question. Product is not good. It's not product versus services. It's product including goods and services, goods versus services. That's a very common mistake. Everybody put product versus services. Product can be service. You go to a hospital, the product is the medical services. That's not good. So you may get a combination of goods and services. That's different. So you remember, there's a wide range. You can be like in like university, you don't really give you anything. It's just about teaching. Teaching is a full service. When you go to a hospital, you get a combination of products and service. You go to a hotel, product and service. And sometimes you just buy product as it is, grocery shop. You go to groceries, buy the product, that's it. That's it. And there is no other service, except they're going to provide you services. That's the difference. But then you go to 7-Eleven, what kind of services they give you? Huh? So you go just buy the product, you pay for it. So you can have a wide range. It's in a spectrum. Spectrum means what? It's not 0, 1. It can be 0.1. Huh? So that's the whole idea. It can be pure good, good and service, pure service. Pure service, as I told you, is student like in university. Okay? And that's about this. And then another example we have is about a hotel, which is very, very interesting. Hotel industry. What are the primary activities in hotel? Again, here, site selection and construction. Here is the first one. If you put the best hotel in this plan, but you put it somewhere nobody can reach, what's the point? Who's going to come to it? You have the best hotel, nice hotel in the world, like the best of the best. I don't even know how through the map how to reach them. It's like somewhere beyond my access. So that's how primary it is before. So you see, that's exactly addressing what we were saying. Site selection in the previous example was a support activity. Here is a primary. So of course reservations, you know, but that's one of the most important thing they do. You usually don't just pop up to a hotel and say, do you have room or not? You take care of it because you don't want to spoil the whole basic travel that you have. That's usually the way you do it, especially when you plan your travel. Doesn't matter how you plan it, of course it may not go exactly as you planned it, but at least you do whatever is possible. Precautions, all these basic things you can do. And operations of hotel basically properties by itself, it needs its own hotel management system, because this is very, very important. You see, all of these beds and rooms have to be clean. There was a recently a very controversial video by one of this whistleblower in US about the hotel industry. And they were talking about this top hotel. One of them was Sheraton Hotel, huh? And what they were doing, they were showing about these glasses in the rooms. You never should touch them. They are like super, super dirty. What they do is, first of all, nobody eat and drink anything from them, always thinking, like I never did it, and I'm not going to do it after this video. Whatever. And what was it? They've been there for like, imagine 3-4 months, how many insects came and go, that's a different story. Beside that, then they're going to wash them, just throw them all in the sink, the toilet sink, and you're washing your thing. Just to wipe them and then put them back over there. You never know how they are. And that's that. Yeah, that's of course not all of the hotels in the world will do it.
You mean toilet sink?
You mean the toilet sink that you're like washing your hand in the toilet right beside it? They bring that? Not that, not the whole. Not the whole. That's like that shit. That's definitely an issue. But no, they just do it to just wipe it, and you never see it. You just do it beautifully, physically beautifully clean. But God knows how many bacteria are there. Maybe in the next generation, this Google Glass will give you the chance to pick up on bacteria. Then I think everybody's going to be happy. But it will be a difficult life, So anybody has like sickness or something, people are going to go crazy because of the bacteria. So you won't have an easy life. So that will be managing lineup. Of course, this is also really, really important. All these services from the reception to all these different activities in hotel have to be well taken care of, because it's a service industry, right? Mainly it's about services, the discipline, the relationship, the communication between the staff and guests. You always have to groom yourself in this industry. It's not acceptable to come with messy hair, crazy, and say, oh my God, if you're like this messy, the hotel is also messy. So no matter how you feel, you have to always dress up. And that doesn't mean, that's a very false perception by most of people thinking whoever is in hotel industry being like well groomed, look like this, wearing this kind of always suits, and they have to be well paid. Not really, they don't pay them very much. It's one of the worst paid structure in the world. Pay you almost nothing in comparison with what you're doing, because you're always on call. You know, you're always. Sometimes shifts are crazy, but and then you work on even Saturday, Sunday, when everybody else is enjoying the life. So you see, when everybody else enjoying the life is your pick up the work. Because everybody comes for a holiday, everybody comes, you have to take care of the hotel, all right? So that's a very weird industry. But those people they're in, they're really passionate about what they're doing. That's why they're in. Otherwise they cannot. It's just a matter of 1 month, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months for a person who just went in for pay. Except you really love this thing. No single day is similar to the next. It's not possible to find 2 days similar to each other. Every day, different people, different issues, different. And this is tips. Yeah, it depends on where you are. Just you see, tips is just a carrier, like the one that bring the thing inside. You're a reception. How you want to get tips? Yes, concierge usually get. And I feel you have been working for a while there. Yes, I could see this. The one that I said, yes.
Does the concierge get tips?
Yes, the one that carry your concierge will bring the usually get for you taxi and things like that. You usually give them, all right? Not always, but they usually, you know, the way that they bring this, they have no way, all right? Look at you, of course, they look at what car you came in. Yesterday you were talking about it. The car you came in, that shows how much I'm gonna pay for your thing. If it's a Lamborghini, I pay more. Doesn't matter. If it's Saga, I say, okay. Do you want me? Any help? Anything? Yeah, buddy, anything you have? You pat that on the shoulder going to pay something. No, it's just, of course, a joke. You always get a thing. So support activity with the accounting, hiring, training, advertising, building a brand of a reputation, and general administration. So all different, basically, support activities. Clear why? Because they are nothing to do with direct service. So all behind. They're actually second liners. Those activities are first liners. About reservation, you have to go to a person, or you have to go online, or sometimes get help online, and things like that. Your experience was here in Malaysia? In Malaysia, yes. In Malaysia, it's interestingly, when it comes to hotel industry, they love foreigners, and they don't really are not concerned about, because as far as you have foreign look, they like, because that's prestige, right? That's very, very common. I had a lot of my friends, actually, students, actually, mainly that I've seen, like, pop up to one hotel and say, what are you doing there? He was in reception. You were in reception, all right? Reception is the front line. That's our first impressing point. So if he impress you here, he most probably impress you forever. There is a rule in psychology called 30-second impression. In 30 seconds, you can impress the person for first time. If you do it, you get that person is going to be you. If not, that's it. Other chances you have to put like maybe 10 times more effort to get into. And that's very, very important. For interviews, it's going to be a very, very important thing. So just imagine you have the interview panel in front of you, you have 30 seconds to impress them. But sometimes it will kill you because you think, I have 30 seconds, so you want to do so talk, over talk sometimes, and things like that. So you have to be balanced. It's about that and characteristics of a value chain analysis. Let's talk about that. Combined cost of all activities in the company's value chain define a company's internal cost structure. So you see, whatever we spend on the product to make the product available for you as a customer, that's the internal cost. Compares the firm's cost activity by activity against cost of key rivals, from raw material purchased to price paid by ultimate customer. So you can find out always how you can boost up your activities, find a better chance of making money, and so on. So sometimes you're having a very efficient operation, but your raw material is very expensive. So you will end up always being more costly than your, no matter how much you're doing. That's the reason why many of the countries in the world end up making the internal businesses all bankrupt. Like one of the issues that recently happened, Chinese shoes and kind of leather product. They are not even leather. They're like not real leather. Went to Middle East. They killed most of the local businesses Because they bring like shoes, usually if you want to make a decent shoe, which is good, like gonna cost you a certain amount, and cannot go lower than that, and they come like with 1/10 of that price. So the customers say, oh, we could buy 10 of this, every day change it, rather than having one, all right? So you are basically killing all of these internal businesses you have, and it's a very, very common instance. That's a problem. You see, it's not always good. Long term, it's a problem. That's why I know certain countries that actually lost their businesses, local, handicraft, and so on, because basically nobody wants to pay. Even China is investing in making those handicraft. That is your own country's, basic things. And so that's a problem. Pinpoints which internal activities are a source of a cost advantage or disadvantage. So basically, through the cost analysis, you understand what activity is not right, what activity is not efficient. So you can modify it, sometimes get rid of it. If it's not necessary, sometimes it's necessary. You have to find a way to operate it more efficiently. That's the whole idea of cost analysis, why we do it. So in continuing with that, we're going to talk about why do value chains of rival differ? Why other competitors that we have, they differ from us? Of course, they are not the same factors. So several factors give rise to difference in value chains of rival companies. First, different strategies. They might have different strategies than us. They are quality oriented, they are cost oriented. They are, like the main strategies yesterday we were talking about: differentiation, cost leadership, focus differentiation. As I told you, focus differentiation and focus cost leadership are two that we can modify. Originally, Porter came up with three: differentiation, cost, and focus. But focus differentiation and focus cost, after that was developed. So because there were companies doing this and that together, okay? So different operating practices. Sometimes your operations are different, the way that you run it. Different technologies you use. You see, you're more automatic, the other one is more manual. That definitely influences. Automatic at the beginning is going to be costlier, but in the long term, it's going to make it better. Just imagine you have a production, manually being one with cheap workers, you can maybe maximum make 100 per day, product, whatever it is. But you put and you pay them and so on, you get a good profit. But if you buy a machine which can do this for you, regardless of the number of people, you have to pay investment a lot, but you can make 1,000 per day. You see, in 2-3 years, you can get the price of the machine back, and after 2-3 years, the pure profit. So you see the difference. So always you have to make these decisions in your business. Okay, I'm going to go with the manual and short term being happy, or I'm going to go with the machine and do an investment for 20-30 years, just collect money. Of course, machine can go. Machine is maintenance. Machine will go depreciated, so you may change it and so on. But still, you have to do this. In certain businesses, that's going to be more difficult and so on. And different degrees of vertical integration, the one that I just told you. Sometimes, like McDonald's. You see, McDonald's, what they do is it's not like going to random suppliers and random wholesalers and so on. So everything more or less is under their control. Even the supplier main thing, even if they have the main supplier, they have a long-term process, and then basically it's a contract with them, long-term relationship. So they get the product in. Everything else is under their control to the point, so they can save so much money. Just imagine you make that Nescafe in the company and you sell it by yourself to the customer. You can make it way cheaper, so you can sell it very high in terms of number. So how much profit you make? Definitely more. But just imagine you make this, but then pass it to wholesale, the wholesale pass it to 7-Eleven, and then you go to 7-Eleven to buy it. The price keeps, because all of these distribution channels, they're going to make their own money, all right? They keep adding to the price. The price goes up. You buy less. Oh, that's too expensive. All right? That's basic. Why do you go to Pasar Malam? The same reason. Pasar Malam is cheap. Why? Because these people, they don't need to package their food. They just do the basic things. Raw material is also cheap. They make it as cheap as possible. So you can get the cheapest food possible through them. If you wanted to buy it from a restaurant, definitely we charge 1, 2, 3, depends on the type of product. Different. A good another example. So the differences among the value chains of competing companies complicate task of assessing rivals, relative cost positions. Why? Because you see, you're not always you won't be able to always assess yourself and others, am I right? So when you compare yourself with others, you have this problem as well. One of the issues is because there's a very nice slogan. They said, never compare your internal life, the genuine internal real life, with appearance of somebody's life. Because human being does it always. You see the guy driving in BMW thinking that definitely his life is better than you. Just because he's better. You never know, maybe he's the verge of bankruptcy, his wife just left him, his kid is in hospital, and so many other things. The only thing he has is that BMW. And you have all this fixed, and you have for example, Viva. And I think you're very happy. But the human being is like this, always compare himself or herself with what he sees, because you never know the real behind the story. You know the real story of yourself. And of course, that means you talk about the bad thing and good thing. But when you look at somebody's appearance, you just see the good thing, all right? Because nobody shows the bad thing here. Oh, I have this problem. People know about it. You just put fresh look, and you say, oh, everybody's happy. What's wrong with me, all right? So that is different story, but let's come back here. You cannot simply look at different businesses and say, okay, they happen to be more efficient, and that is the reason. No, sometimes there are lots of complication and sophistication over there. As I told someone, their strategy. You never know all of the suppliers they have. They may get a better price, better link, that may be less. With a government link, you never know. In some countries, that is actually a reason why certain people can. You see, I'm going to come up with a question, with an example. Just imagine there is a car that always have this window power problem. It has been there since 1980s till today. All of the products from that company has that window power problem. Show me a reason why that supplier still is there, if that company has that window power problem. Locals, you know which company I'm talking about. If you don't know, that has to be. So you see, if the Saga, our ancestors' time, has the window power problem. The first time I saw this was taking a taxi from airport to home. I've seen the guy open the door and put the hand in his leg like this to get the toll. I said, what's wrong with him? Why? Just bring it down like that. That was like it brought it. So maybe there's something wrong. And I kept saying it. And one time I said, why don't you just push it? The guy said, if I push it down, then I have to put 10 times more effort to bring it back. I said, why? They said, because this power window, the engine they use it's not working. I said, why? Why it's not? Why they don't? They said, no, it's all over the cars, all over the cars. Then I thought that maybe that time. Then since 2017 today, any portable car I see that means there is a supplier who has been doing this forever for them and never got to change because nobody forced him to change. And it has been granted that business always. That's the problem. So you never can do anything about this. That's an unfair business, all right? They're not good, but because you're my cousin, no problem. That's the problem.
And the company is not aware of that investigation.
The company definitely knows about it. Everybody knows. Everybody is like making fun. You see, they say, what is when BMW comes to your mind, you say, see, for example, sport, luxury. When it comes Mercedes, when I said Porto, they said window power. The first thing comes to your mind. So the company doesn't know. People over there working in the same, living in the same society, they are hearing it. And they are like car manufacturers. I don't know whether they talk to an employee of car manufacturing. They are very, very fanatically defend their system. They believe that they are the best of the best of the best. All of them, regardless of where they are, even if they are making something, doesn't matter. That's the nature of the business. Because still, work and manufacturing a product is a sophisticated product. It's all around the world. You go to France, in Peugeot, you will see the same thing. You go to Germany, of course, you will see the same thing. You go to Japan, you see the same thing. Anywhere. You go to Malaysia, you see the same thing, if it's a manufacturer. But the problem is, why not we do anything about it? The only reason can be, we don't want to do anything about it. No, we don't want to do anything about it. It's not about talking about this.
Because you can't produce the problem, nobody, person won't buy, understand. Like, from where I'm going to understand correctly, those people who are buying it have no option. Because if you have enough money, if you have money for Mercedes-Benz or whatever, you don't go back to it.
No, but because the problem is the car they make has other substitution. You see, a Honda City is more or less the same class as they're doing. They just make the Honda City or Honda Vios or all of these cars so super expensive. Then if you have like 40,000-50,000 ringgit, you have to buy a proton car because they're domestically defending the domestic industry. But the problem is that's not right. The car shouldn't have any problem. If it's cheap, doesn't mean that the window shouldn't work. So take out the window then.
All these suppliers are giving sweetheart deals.
That's what I'm saying.
Sweetheart deals for a long period of time and so on.
Because it's all political.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they're not doing anything about it because of the market, the target market for it. You understand? If you have like an average, you have 5,000 and you have to go and buy for it. How many people in the country have that money to buy their SUV talking about? If the majority has around that for 4,000,
But then the government protects the local car industry.
No, it's not about target market has an issue. See, that is not right. Target market, okay, it's not a very rich target market.
Yeah.
So that means we have to cheat them?
No, I'm trying to say that means that they have no option because they don't have money for that SUV.
Yeah.
So that's what they have to buy.
No, that's the problem, Heather.
Sorry.
There is no, that's the thing. Buying the real good one is not gonna be that much expensive. I don't wanna do it. You see, if somebody is sleeping, you can make him wake up. If somebody pretends to sleep, you never can make him up. That's the problem. I don't want to solve the problem. Because solving that problem means saying no to my cousin and buy from another
You
friend.
see, the thing is compounded by the fact that import cars, they have high tariff barriers. So if they could easily undercut Proton, they say, look, Proton, your window problem, the hell with it, I'm buying this car. It's
That's the thing.
same price or cheaper.
You see now Honda Jazz, which came to
People have
Malaysia,
got
is
extra
60 something thousand. And around 10,000, 20,000 more expensive than a typical Proton car. Now I'm talking about the small range, I mean lower range. Everybody shifted to Honda. Who's going to buy Honda? The thing. They found out all of those also are very smart. They make the car as cheap as possible. That after you're adding all these tariff and so on, still it's going to be so cheap, and people are buying it. How much government is going to push? Because actually, Proton is another mass airline, Malaysian airline, and basically government is backing them. Otherwise, it has gone long. Of course, it's a very important thing that's intended. Domestic production, you don't want to miss it. That's for prestige for a country. You don't want to mess that up. So maybe you have to put somebody in who's really good, who can help you to build the company, rather than always try to find a way, shortcuts. One time you pass this shortcut, another shortcut. GST is another shortcut, beautifully. Again, it doesn't work. The value chain system for an entire, did we go through that work? Yes.
I don't understand.
Yes.
You
Yes.
see the different strategies, I forgot the, I didn't catch it.
The strategy, for example, my strategy is leadership, cost leadership. Cost leadership means I choose the cheapest raw material, cheapest supplier, cheapest packaging, cheapest. So I will end up having a cheaper production cost. But my strategy is differentiation. So I never go for cheaper. I want to be more unique. So I go for best packaging, better supplier, better raw material. So that will end up being why my cost is high. I just understand it. Why I understand it. Sometimes a hybrid means a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So it depends on how. So that's why I say you cannot simply look at another competitor and say, oh, these are like this because this. And as far as you are addressing a certain number of people in the market, target market, that they are interested in your product because of whatever feature your product has, then you're okay. But if you're competing randomly with different competitors, knowing what you're providing and who is your main customer, that's super risky. So the value chain system for an entire industry. Assessing competitiveness involves comparing costs all along an industry's value chain. So we go from top to bottom. One of the first thing is supplier value chain. Are relevant because cost, performance features, and quality of input provided by suppliers influence a firm's own cost and products of performance. I just told you about the cost leadership. Choose the wrong supplier, you may get very expensive product in, and that will kill you. No matter how much you try to be efficient and have less waste and better usage of your resources, it's just too expensive. That is the reason that no matter how your production system is good, like when you go and deal with some of the countries and in comparison with China, you see China can still make it cheaper. There is a way, they find a way to make it cheaper, and this low wage workers are going to really help the whole thing for them. Sometimes they have very good resources of certain things, then they use that. That is an area that you never can come. So just don't bother going to that area. There are some areas that they're getting the raw material from out of China and they produce something and then sell it back to you. That area maybe you can do something because they're just so super efficient. Value chains of distribution and retailers are relevant because why we look at these distributors and retailers as a relevant value chain, because their cost and profit margin represent value added and are part of the price paid by ultimate end user. So it can show us basically cost structure of the system. Because at the end, who's going to pay for the product? End user, all right? So by looking at our distributors, our suppliers, what they do, what kind of cost they have, and so on, we can have a good idea like what we can do to be able to get the customer, the final customer, having the best pleasant price. Activities they perform affect end user satisfaction as well. Just imagine if I'm a retailer and I provide promotions, I provide some services and so on, of course it will influence you as well. Just imagine you have the same product with the same price in two different retailers. One of them is having a better ambiance, one of them not really nice ambiance. Which one do you go? Better ambiance. So just ambiance. Again, the same product, more or less the same price. One of the retailers you go, you see a very nice communication from staff to you, but if one of them just ignore you, sometimes they are rude, they don't really fit. Which one they can do? So as simple as this, sometimes you can make the customer buy your product, not necessarily because of cost, but because of the system that you created, and it's not really costly for you, but adding lots of value to the product. Just being nicer with the customer. Like that Mama restaurant who's nicer with his, even in traditional way, nicer to his, so you come in, oh, as I told you yesterday, boss story. Boss, just the same boss. You're happy. He's going to be happy. So that's about the value chain for an entire industry. Look at here, this is basically how value chain has been represented for the whole of one industry. So supplier related value chain, all going to be here. Activities, cost, and margin of suppliers. So they have their own costs. Then we have another side, the company's own value chain. So of course, activities which is done in the company, internally performed activities, cost, and margin. They're going to be all added. So that's how product is going to be. For example, if the raw material come 1 ringgit and they add some activity to it, like for example, make it 1.5, then they do something to it to make it 3 ringgit, then go further up. Then we have activities, cost, and margin of forward channel allies and strategies. It can be like wholesalers, it can be retailers. All right. You're also adding some cost to it, packaging, sometimes it's just transportation, sometimes assortment. The product comes in big bulks, you assort it, make it available for customers to choose. You cannot ask the customer, go to the inventory, find what you want. So one milk, half an hour is there, and then ruining your thing and so on. You're not going to do it. And buyers or end user value chain by themselves at the end. So you see the price that comes out after here, for example, 3, 4, 5 ringgit customer is going to get. That's why the price is there. So if you have integrated value chain, it means like some of these are part of you can save a lot. Because then you don't want to charge a lot margin here and here. You try to get an acceptable margin here, and customer is happy also. Imagine McDonald's was like this. Raw material was coming from somewhere, so the supplier will charge you something. Going somewhere to make it as a burger, then they will charge something. Then come to this wholesaler, they will charge something, and then coming to these branches of McDonald's, you will charge something. So then most probably you're carrying Big Mac a la carte, they end up paying 50 ringgit Big Mac a la carte. And they have to just eat it by themselves. Nobody would pay 50 ringgit for that. looking very look like a burger. Okay, so that's about the representative of value chain and entire industry. So look at jobs, different activities by value chain. For example, for a pulp and paper industry, okay, timber farming, logging, pulp mills, paper making, distribution. These are all different value chains they do. They cannot simply get the paper out. You know, they have to have like all these different activities to be done to make the paper that you have now in your hand writing on it available. So it's all different value chains. You have to do it. Of course, even paper making done, there is no proper distribution. How you want to go buy it? All of the time, whenever you want to buy one paper, for example, all of it, and then like get just one. No, doesn't work, right? So it has to be distributed. So you see, all of them are definitely about the supply and processing and manufacturing. Here's about selling it as to customers. Look at here, another example, home appliance industry. These are the value chain activities. Parts and components manufactured. Okay, of course, different activities. So this is like just a washing machine and dryer machine. It can be just dryer machine, like cooking robots, huh? And assembly. Assembly means different part being done and then coming together, being assembled, and wholesale distribution, and then retail distribution. So wholesale, for example, Harvey Norman is here. Because Harvey Norman is a place you go and buy this. You don't see the wholesalers. Wholesalers, they don't entertain you. Like you want to buy this, okay, accent, okay? From retailer, you can, because you want to buy one or two, right? Except you want to buy in bulk, then you can call the main, for example, company, and then say, I want to buy 100 million. How much? 100 of this. How much do you give? Then they give you a bit of money. But you go call Panasonic, can I go buy one? How much is it? They don't even bother answering you. The cost of answering you is more than, you know, the profit they make out of that product. So they are selling in bulks. That's how it works. So retailer make its own benefit and make it possible. So they put a person over there, you go over there, eat his brain off, doesn't matter, and you don't even buy. Yes, you know, he talks to 10 people, 1 people, what? You know, his salary is already there. So but definitely that is more expensive. So if you buy a Acorn normal 1 horsepower in, for example, Harvey Norman, which is 1,000 ringgit, the actual cost for that to be produced has to be somewhere around 700, 800. Around 200 of that is going to retail easily to be able to make it. Otherwise, how are they going to put one over there, sell it, one or two like that, and then survive? It depends on, of course, what industry you are. These electronic appliances margin is high. Certain things not really. It's very, very low. They cannot really make so much money because they sell a lot. You go like buying cheese curl from Giant, it's a snack. You think how much is the profit per cheese curl? Maybe 5 cents, maybe 4 cents. It's not like you cannot go, can you give me a discount, please? Now it's like 2.10. Can I get 5 to 10 cents per of that if they give, like they get. But I really doubt it. They don't get 10 cents out of that. That 10 cents is a lot. It depends on what they do. If you are selling vegetables, it's even less. But if you're selling more sophisticated items, maybe yes, more. So it depends on what you're selling. And that's about it. So home appliances can be any of those other stuff that you use in the house as well. Soft drink industry. That's again another good example for making that beautiful thing. You see, have you seen the Coca-Cola rebranding itself by this small thing? And just simply by making it the size smaller, added lots of consumption to people. Because people psychologically like basically nostalgic thing. These things used to be in the market. They were out. Then you were always missing that, you know, the glass type of Coca-Cola. Recently they did it, and they did it aggressively. They're almost everywhere. Even more restaurant you go, you can get this. Perfectly, they're selling so much more Coke. You make people more obese now. Because of just changing the packaging, how beautiful it is, just rebranding it. People sometimes like cans, sometimes they, in US, the sizes are different from what you get here. Usually the sizes, you can maximum 1.5, 2 liter in there. It goes over the big As far as you see, America is like one of the fattest nations of all time. One of the most obese nations.
They like big things.
And I told you before, Malaysia is the most obese in ASEAN. Yeah, Malaysia is like the most obese one in ASEAN. Yeah, and easily you can look at the pattern of food. Nasi lemak, what's that? The nasi kanda, the nasi kanda, champu, all of these things putting oil on top of each other. So that's then nasi goreng everywhere, and that's clearly. And that palm oil is actually one of the worst ones for body to basically get rid of. So palm oil, yes, actually the one that it's mainly used because there are so many different degrees. It's the best oil to fry, and it doesn't get to be. But it's not. It's good for frying. But after that, you have to get rid of the oil as much as you can, because when it goes to your body doesn't know what to do with it. Accumulate it in fat category. So you see, body is like that. When anything goes in, it whether has the solution for it or not. It has solution. It goes to the stomach, get digested, get rid of it. If not, then doesn't know, go confusion, keep it. Like you see nowadays, you have something to do, and it's very difficult to put it. I will deal with it later. That's the body. The same thing. Goes to the fat side. And then you see your inventory show itself here, everywhere. Palm oil is one of the worst oils to have, because again, because it has high tolerance of oil, then they go beyond that. They expect him to be like a hero, like Superman. They fry chicken in it for 5 days. And then when you see it's like tar. You see, you go to Mama restaurant, you just go put your hand a little bit like this to see that fried oil thing. What pass along even? Pass along they do it like, let's go together, have fun, and have cancer together. That's like this. You see the oil is like completely dark.
Yeah.
Means that is like, and you're consuming this through all of this type of oil.